Welcome to another entry into Navya's Bookish Odyssey. And for the month of April,
Okay.
the book that I read was co-read with Mr. Rejoy. And the book that we read is Damned by Chuck Palahniuk, who's most famous for writing The Fight Club. And Rejoy is going to introduce the book to us.
Yeah. So the book it falls under the Banksian genre. By Banksian, what we mean is stuff that happens during the afterlife, where you meet with people that are, you know,
Dead?
that are dead, that are known to be damned to hell. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the new genre that we tried this month. Um, um,
So should we just
yes,
give a brief
let's
summary
go.
of the
Yeah,
book?
yeah, yeah. So let's just introduce the small synopsis of what the book is
All right.
about.
Synopsis of the book. Uh, if I could describe it to someone who doesn't know about it, it would be, as a few people that read it might have pointed out, it's Breakfast Club meets Dante's Inferno. So it's a bunch of people in their afterlife in hell, surviving hell, and climbing up the ladders of hell. Yeah,
And it's a
that's
whole
like
bunch of teenagers. So added to that, it's like,
yeah, barely teenagers.
yeah, yeah. My first impression of the book, when I first saw the cover, it's got a cover of like a cartoonized version of the Satan. Um, so I was thinking more along the lines of like it's going to be like Lucifer the series, um, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
So our protagonist is Maddie or Madison Spencer, who is a 13-year-old girl who's died and finds herself in hell, and she's trying to figure out what just happened. So she isn't fully clear on like where she is, what she is, how things work. She's just like in a new world and no clue what to do. And she believes she's died because she's had a marijuana overdose.
overdose.
So you slowly see her and her. So she's basically in like a prison cell sort of a situation, and you see her fellow inmates, and she's trying to figure out what is happening around her, and it becomes a matter of like how to survive the madness of this land. So she can see the different punishments, the stereotypical punishments that we see in like a very, like a Christian idea of what is hell. Like you get
Yeah,
eaten, and like there's burning on one side. There's rivers of unspeakable shit, literal shit on another side and stuff like that.
I think it's rivers of semen
Yeah,
and
rivers of
ocean
semen,
of abortions. Yeah,
unsuccessful births and things like that. So
yeah.
she has to try. So there are these scenes where like a demon walks in and eats a person whole, and then
That
they're
person
reformed
slowly
again,
regenerates. Yeah.
and then they get eaten again, like very Prometheus of them. So her and her fellow inmates. Another girl called Babette and two boys called Archer
And
and
Leonard.
Leonard. They they try to figure out how to manage the cell and how to escape from the demons. Meanwhile, taking a tour of hell and the different stages of hell, because some of them have been here for a while, but they all don't seem to have a sense of the time of how long they've been there or what time it is or anything like that. Like Babette keeps asking what time it
What
is,
day it is,
what
and
day it is. Yeah,
the answer almost always is a Thursday.
and
Yeah.
so, as Madison walks around trying to figure out hell, you get different like pictures of what they're seeing and how they are tackling things. So, quite a few things are quite disgusting, and it's a little repulsive to read. I have a very
That's
active
understating
visual,
it.
yeah, like I have a very active visualization power. I realized because I listen to the audiobook, so I guess for me personally, audiobooks don't immerse me as much as like reading a physical book. But even then, the imagery was a little too much. So like if you have like an intense gag reflex, please stay away because quite a bit of it is not very digestible. I was sort of halfway through the book and then I texted Richard and it's like, what have you gotten me into? And he said we'd change the book then, but then I refused because since I was half the way in, I wanted to go the full
In my
rule.
defense, I proposed to change the book like 2 months before, but I. Okay.
You added one more book, not changed the book at that
Okay,
time.
okay. But still,
Anyway,
I
so yeah,
apologize for that.
that is going to be
Yeah.
like a fair warning. It's not for the light-hearted. It is gritty and slightly disgusting and gaggy.
Very disgusting. Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of literal poop and a lot of like a stereotypical hell situation that does happen more than the. It's not gory. It's just yucky. So it's not like limb to limb torture, and it's not that. But it's
I
like
mean, that is there, but,
Yeah, but
that won't repulse you as much
repulse you
as,
as much, yeah.
you know,
some of the stuff that happens there.
yeah.
It's not very PG-13, half the stuff that happens, because but the kids involved are all 13.
Ironically,
So,
the protagonist is 13 years
13
old.
years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then the book basically through describing different kinds of hell and different things that they see in hell, different kinds of demons and all, like basically Madison is trying to get to Satan to like explain her predicament. And,
It's.
like,
I feel like it's a love letter to Satan. Every single chapter starts with a letter that she writes Satan
writes
every
to
single
Satan.
day.
It's like a diary entry that she writes to
Yeah.
Satan every
Dear
day.
Satan, why are you ignoring me? Dear Satan, I'm here. I'm all well.
She just starts with like, "Hey Satan, it's me, Madison," and then she like continues the day. So she is
I'll say
little
she's.
self-deprecating. She keeps calling herself fat. She keeps calling herself, ugly, and she's not the best picture of self-confidence for sure.
She doesn't sound self-deprecating as much, but it's like she's trying to win the favor of Satan by, trying to get his attention. She's like trying to get Satan's attention and be like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, but she's not
Yeah.
seen Satan yet. Like she's still like trying to get to Satan, or like trying to figure out how to get to Satan, or how to get through the bureaucracy of hell, how that works. So eventually she does escape one demon with the help of the other scrappy teens
Yeah.
through a very yucky incident that happens.
It's not yucky. It's like, okay, that scene I'm a fan of. Should I say?
Explain.
So the demon in question is like Godzilla size, a
Possess
female.
Palahniuk, that's the name.
Yeah, female
The-
behemoth called
Yeah.
Possess Volnica. So she's supposed to be an ancient god, which turned evil.
demon. Yeah.
And for some reason there was this one particular character, Archer, who tried defending her and who got eaten except for his head.
Yeah.
And what the girl does is she climbs up to this demon's,
Dies.
with the severed head, and he just sticks it.
So Archer does come out to be very like sexually active and sexually experienced. He keeps talking about it,
Yeah.
and he's very like raunchy in the way he comments. So she just takes his severed head, takes it to the demon, and
Archer goes down on the demon,
goes
and
down on the
she
demon. And because
orgasms,
because the demon is so pleasured by them, the demon gives them a ride to the
they win the
office.
favor of the demon, and they go to the headquarters of hell.
So it's a little unhinged like that.
Yeah.
But like because of the demon, we're talking about that. So one of the teens in that is Leonard, who's like a very nerdy boy. And you see Leonard's commentary more in the initial few
Yeah.
chapters. It's Leonard explaining, okay, this is what is happening in hell, because he studied.
Leonard gives a backstory for
religions.
all the demons.
Yeah, so because he knows religions, he studied like comparative religions or something. He explains to Madison how each demon that you see was basically a god of one people at one point, and then another more dominant culture or another more dominant religion comes in and makes that person the demon. So all the demons that you see are basically deposed gods.
Yeah.
As you see, for example, in like how opposite it is that like the demons of one religion is the god of the other, which you see time and time again that happens throughout multiple religions in the world. So that is like one interesting, like there are a few religious commentaries that are like thrown here. Obviously it's
Right.
hell, so the concept is in fact quite religious. So that is thrown in every now and then. But however, when they get to the offices, they apply for like a retrial because they're not sure Madison is really supposed to be.
Yeah, basically they can't find her documents
Yeah.
saying like what did she die of and why is she
She in
damned.
hell, yeah.
So she had to take a retest.
Retest.
Before that, if you look at the characters, Leonard, Archer, and Babette, each of them has a separate function. Archer is the daredevil who lets people in on a physical death. Leonard is a historian. Babette gets people through bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm like,
All
okay,
have like like very different personalities that they put together to make
Yeah.
things happen. But once they get to the office, Madison gets a very interesting job, which is one of Rejoy's favorite parts. So I'm going to let Rejoy talk about Madison's
So,
job.
yeah, Madison is a telemarketer. I mean, she's a really normal telemarketer, but turns out in the book, as per the book, all telemarketers are from hell. Yeah, and her main hobby is torturing people by asking more questions or more questionnaires until she pisses people off and kind of damning them to hell a bit more. And,
And like call them in the most inopportune moment, like in the middle of a family dinner or things
yeah,
like that.
just as they're gonna have a hot dinner,
Yeah.
and like she finds pleasure in doing this, irritating people, but eventually she meets a few terminally ill people, and she tries to market hell to them. It's like hell is not as bad as it seemed to be.
Sounds, yeah. Actually, after the initial little struggle
Yeah.
that she has, hell doesn't actually sound like the worst place because she sort of
Doesn't.
figures out how to go about it.
Yeah, like office job, the telemarketing job was like it was something natural for her. She's like uh, once she got on to, I think maybe it was an old lady or maybe it was Emily, the girl dying of cancer. She was like, hell, it's not that bad. Just come here, find me. This is my number. Blah blah blah. But when you come, come over
Bring
with a bunch
candy.
of candies because candies are the currencies
In hell.
in hell. Yeah, so they have a lot of pull.
And even in hell, there are like these pockets which are run by bullies, like big dictators or
Hitler.
people from like our like everyday things that we've like heard of. There's like Vlad the Impaler, who's one of the people there, or like those historical figures who have been like bullies and who have had large followings. They also seem to have that sort of a following over there. So for them, what you pay with is candy, and even bribing people candy. So, but the thing is, you only have the candy with which you died. So you've got to like pack candy with you. You're wearing the same clothes with which you died. So like that becomes a bit of a problem.
The
for her.
footwear.
The shoes.
Yeah, the
She
footwear is
explains how, like,
huge
you
issue.
can't always be on still toes. And Madison is actually the child of a very successful Hollywood actress and a movie producer dad. So,
Should we name them? No.
I mean, it does sound very much like a Hollywood couple that adopts a lot of children.
Yeah,
Because
travels to
multiple
every part
countries.
of the world, adopts children. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so because she does say that her parents tend to do that. They like basically like collect trophies from different countries that are struggling and like pick up a child from there and adopt them.
But ironically, in this situation, the mom is a narcissistic actor. The dad is a billionaire, tech billionaire.
He's a movie producer.
He's a movie producer.
Yeah, so
Alright.
he's. But they are from that hippie generation, free sex, free love. So they brought her up in a very sort of weirdly liberal situation. But she evidently craves a more parental personality to look up to because she does not have that, and she is, often bullied for being the child of such liberal parents when she studies in a boarding school, which is rather restrictive in Switzerland. So, it shows a side of her that is conflicted because of everything that's happening around her, which is not very neat either. Like her parents adopt these kids, bring them home, try to make her understand that these kids come from underprivileged situation, that she's got to be nice to them. But then eventually the parents also get bored of their philanthropic high horses, and then they just put that kid in a whenever the kid gets inconvenient, put that kid in a boarding school and probably never see them, just financially provide for them. So Madison comes from that sort of a situation, from that sort of an environment, and she's mostly lived in a boarding school, so her connection with people are not like as she's not as socially comfortable as you would think. But eventually she ends up falling for one of the guys that her parents adopt, which is
Sadly, yeah, falling for a guy that the parents adopt. Sadly, should we tell why? No.
yeah. You can tell why. I think it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
It's
So Madison, she doesn't know how exactly she, ended up dying. Everything is like a folk to her. The only thing that she knows is, okay, she might have died of a marijuana overdose, but, you know,
but
dying
in the
from.
book, it's like every person you ask them how did they die, they either have like a lie as an answer or they don't really know how they died. Like they also don't have a clear answer. For a
Yeah,
long time,
from
all of the
Babette's
characters,
perspective, yeah.
yeah, so all of them keep like, even Archer lies for a long time as to why did he die. He
Yeah.
initially wants to be the cool biker dude who like stole from a shop, or like, or he killed people somewhere and that's how he died. But then you slowly, each time he tells the story, it becomes softer and softer and softer, and towards the end you realize he died because he stole food for his sister. It becomes that. It does like get to a point where you question, like, do these people actually deserve to be in hell because their reasonings.
Archer, especially, I think
Yeah.
Archer inadvertently caused the death of his little baby
Sister
sister.
Anne.
So the guilt of that
Yeah.
is what condemned him
But
to
more
hell.
like the guilt of it, because the act is really rather innocent, because how he dies, I mean, how the sister dies is because he buys a diaper for his sister which needs a pin fastener, because it's not
Yeah.
like an elasticated thing. And turns out he gave the pin that he keeps chewing on all the time, and that pin was rusted or septic or something, and that infection kills the child. So it was not intentional that he killed the child, it just
It's really
happened to
heartbreaking.
be. Yeah. So, I mean, from your moral perspectives, when you read the book, it's a question to ask, like, did he deserve to be in hell if that was the reality of it, when he didn't intend anything wrong? So,
I mean, but
yeah.
theft is still contempt, right?
Yeah, but stealing bread and diapers, I don't know. Like, we live in an economy that doesn't make such basic things available for people. Sometimes you get to
Right.
that point.
Ooh, there is also this part where you're allowed these many
Yeah,
times, right? It's
yeah,
like you're allowed to say fuck like 500
yeah.
times. 500 first time, you're damn to hell.
You're damn fair. Like, you're allowed to fart 3 times in an elevator. More than that, you're in hell. Basically she lists out these things when she's working as a
Yeah.
telemarketer. When she's like, okay, if you do these many things, like if you don't throw away wrap, if you litter so many times, then
Yeah.
you go into hell. But if you do it only so many times, then it's okay. So like she sort of lists these absurd.
But it makes sense somehow.
It makes sense because even when we sit and talk about moralistic things, we talk about the black and whites. When it's not black and white, there's so much like gray area in between. So the commentary on that, on morality, is quite interesting. I think another important part is this sudden phase where she suddenly realizes that maybe she wasn't exactly supposed to be there,
Yeah.
and suddenly she slowly learns to sort of get a little more agency for herself. Like, even the possessed Polnica character is a demon who is humongous in size and is completely nude, and she's able to look at another woman who's able to like own her skin, own her existence without any fear or judgment. It makes her think twice. Similarly, as it reaches a certain point, she realizes ki, hey, you know what, to hell with all of this. Now, I can be the worst person I want to be. I don't have to be the nice girl anymore. I don't have to be the
Yeah.
goody two shoes girl. Now, if I want to create destruction, I can do all of it. And she just goes on this rampage where she bullies the bullies. So she
Yeah.
steals Adolf Hitler's mustache.
Yeah, so in that particular world, you have to. The way you gain powers is by defeating them and taking their
Can
most charmed
Yeah, item.
position.
Yeah,
For Hitler, his identity is his mustache, yanked it with a bit of an upper lip, and
yeah.
she has that with her. Then Vlad the Impaler,
Then she
and
just
whatever.
goes on
Yeah,
this rampage. It's like she slowly starts collecting all of these bullies stuff. So she has this whole belt where she's got like insignia from all of them,
yeah,
and with them she gets cronies added into her retinue as well. So one of those commentaries that gets noticed there is that it's not just that these people had any power all by themselves. It's because there were so many people who were silently ready to support them so that their privileged positions are not destructed. So it goes on to show how like the ignorance is bliss is basically a very comfortable state for people to take when someone else who can be imposed on suffers the consequences of those actions. So that is also like a very interesting, commentary on like life. Um, and then yeah, so suddenly she becomes sort of like the queen of hell, but she's still not met Satan. She's still writing diary entries daily for Satan, and
But you do see a shift in her tone
yeah,
in the letters.
yeah,
Like it's like, hey, Satan, like I don't care you're there, but
yeah,
she still writes.
yeah.
That's the thing.
It's like she doesn't want to care about it anymore, but she definitely cares a little bit, or she would have just
Yeah.
stopped writing the letters.
The need for validation
Yeah, is
still there.
definitely. That's why I said she sort of needs like an authoritative figure to at some point like accept her with a more parental sort of
Yeah.
look, you know. So I
So
think she's
yeah,
looking for that in Satan because she didn't get it from her parents.
you also have to look at it from a point of view. She's damned to hell when she's 13. She's going to be 13 eternally.
Forever, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one point
It's a
of view
hard
that's
pill.
like really hard to digest.
Yeah. She's
If
never
you've
gonna grow
seen
old,
the
yeah.
movie Interview with a Vampire, it's a movie starring Brad Pitt,
Yeah, I've
Tom
seen it.
Cruise, and
There's a
Kirsten
younger
Dunst.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kirsten Dunst, she's like a 13-year-old vampire, but she's been 13 or 15-year-old for like 500
Long
years.
time, yeah.
Yeah, and you do see that kind of frustration, but I don't. She hasn't spent that much time
Time, yeah.
in hell as yet, but
Yeah.
she has raised that frustration. Okay, I'm going to be 13 years. I'm not gonna go through adolescence. I'm not gonna know what everything feels like. So that even that frustration is there, and
She's been in hell at this point for around 3.5 months.
yeah,
And then one Halloween, she suddenly realizes that on Halloween day, all the people in hell can actually visit Earth. But the one challenge is that you have to show up as uh, the person that you were or how you died. That's why suddenly you realize these other teenagers who have been around her, some of them died centuries ago, and they're not like recent geeks or recent nerds. They're like nerds from the Library of Alexandria era and all that. Babette becomes a confusing character where she doesn't fully realize how she died, so she just takes up these stories. She says she's one of the handmaidens for
Babette has master
Antoinette.
syndrome, where she's like
Yeah.
the character Vijay from Master. She's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
one second it's
Every time it's a new
Titanic,
story.
one
Yeah.
second it's Primum. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what I am.
So
Yeah.
when they reach, there's also an interesting thing where she explains how her parents dressed her up and gone her adoptive brother as John Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir, and I don't know how to feel about that either. But it's so she does state that she has used her smartness as a crutch all her life because she's not pretty, because she's not got those other things that can make her stand out. She's been like, oh, I am the smart one. Though I have read Jane Eyre, or I know to use this word. I know, like she uses these big words, and she's like, oh, I know I'm only 18. I know I'm dead, and you think you're superior to me because you're alive and I'm dead, because being dead is the worst disability ever. But I can use better words. So she uses smartness to sort of get a little edge over
Every
herself.
single chapter, she's like, I know I'm only 13, I'm dead, but I know the meaning of
So and so
so
word.
and so word.
Yeah, so
Throughout all the chapters, she does this. And when I looked up Shak Palahniuk's style of writing, this particular thing, they call it as a chorus. So he uses that throughout his
like a
writing.
repetitive
Yeah.
narrative style. Yeah, so
And it kind of gets irritating actually. Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And then more things happen in the book. So I think the end is a little bit of an interesting ending on where all of this is going. Where is her story
Yeah.
going?
Before that, do you agree with her hatred for the English patient?
I have not watched the movie, so
I have not watched it.
I wanted to watch it just because she keeps telling like one of the worst things to happen to you is having to watch The English Patient. The worst thing to happen on a flight is that they play The English Patient as the movie. Or in hell, one of the punishments is for you to watch The English Patient non-stop. So I don't know if the author has anything particular against The English Patient, or if The English Patient is actually just a really bad movie, because I've not watched it. Maybe it's just a boring movie for a teenager, so I don't know.
I mean, I need to read the book. It's been like really recommended. Like after all the Booker prize-winning books, this is supposed to be the
The
best
book to
among
read
them.
now.
Yeah, and among them. That's what I've heard. not so sure if it's the
Yeah.
case after reading this.
She talks about how she's read Jane Eyre, how she's read all the Jane Austens.
But could you relate to that? A 13-year-old reading Jane Austen and understanding
No,
it.
we all read uh, Jane Austen classics in our teenage because it was school mandatory.
But it was 13 years old, dude.
8th standard.
Cutty language, or like you won't understand anything. It's like
Not really. Even I
tough
read my
language.
first Jane Austen at that age.
Really?
Yeah. But I think a lot of Catholic schools, I think even like me and one of our book club member, Meenakshi, we were talking about how a lot of Catholic schools have those supplementary stories that you study, right? Along
Okay.
with your English supplementary extra book was either Shakespeare or it was Jane Austen because they're relatively cleaner books, right? Like they don't
Okay.
deal with a lot of PG-13 stuff. You probably won't get the depth of love the way that we get it when we are adults or how much to like understand it. But
Right.
they're romances, so they're like easier to like put out there for kids. And a year-long read, not that difficult because you have a teacher guiding you, right? So it's not that tough.
CBSE?
No, matriculation. So, yeah, so I don't want to talk about the end of the book because that's probably the only little twist that we
Yeah.
have that the book can offer.
But we can talk about Gulliver's Travels.
Yes,
Modest Proposal.
Modest
which we're all-
Proposal. So there are a lot of other books that are like mentioned again because she does read a lot. So one of the things that mentioned is the Modest Proposal by Mr. Swift, which is of special significance for us because Rejoy brought in the essay to book club. And
tried to explain the context of the book and everyone was like horrified. And I forgot to mention the fact that it was a satire.
it was satire, exactly. So
Yeah.
the basic concept introduced was that let's eat babies as a way of birth control. And that as a starting statement had us all like, at that moment. But yeah, that is one of the books. And then she basically explains how Gulliver's Travels, the first volume of the book is the Gulliver's Travels that we're all used to. It's all
Yeah.
sweet, funny,
The first
interesting.
part of the there are 4 parts actually. The first part is his travel to Lilliput. The second part, which the author talks about in this, is his travels to Brobdingnan.
Brobdingnagian,
That's Big Bang Theory.
thing like that. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I don't know.
There's in Big Bang Theory there's a spat between Sheldon and Raj over his office space.
Yeah, and he calls it as Brobdingnagian.
Raj is like
Yeah.
it's too Brobdingnagian.
Yeah, because
So-
the Brobdingnagian is Brobdingnag is a place of like gigantic proportions.
Yeah.
So it's like Gulliver is the tiny man in a land of the giants. So she talks about how the children are never really introduced to that part of Gulliver's Travels because that's more gritty and Gulliver ends up having to do stuff that wouldn't really be appropriate for children to read.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of commentary on other books and other movies in the book because she's supposed to be someone who reads and has a bit more knowledge on those things. So some of those like tidbits and references are rather like interesting.
Only if you're
to
like a
look at.
really well-read person.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of references to movies like The Breakfast Club and all that and like Eminem's Stan.
Yeah, the reference is not there, but during every single chapter, the beginning, she's writing a letter to Satan. So it feels like, Dear M, like the beginning of the song Stan, where the fanatic fan is writing a love letter to Eminem, and Eminem is not responding. So yeah.
So those pop culture references Rejoy gets, and the book references I get, because the other ones I don't, because I've not watched
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, I've not watched The English Patient. All of them are like referenced and talked about, which I'm not very familiar with.
Ooh, the French kiss game.
Yes. Then another thing that just like sort of explains her situation in the hostel, in the boarding school that she's
Even
in.
though she's supposed to be like well-read, really smart,
She
the way she dies is stupidly numb. Like, I mean, I'm like, like
So-
could have been written better, right?
Yeah. I think the absurdity of everything in that is like to heighten everything in this book. Everything is like too absurd in this.
Yeah, the protagonist presents herself as this really smart kid that she wasn't able to,
Yeah, so she
through
explains
that.
telling that she has like the theoretical knowledge of stuff because she's like read stuff. She's like, oh, I am only 18 but I've read Kama Sutra. I just don't know why people bother putting in so much effort into these things. But at the same time, she doesn't get the basics of how it actually works. She has no actual real life experience of these things. So she is tricked by her school bullies into believing a kind of choking to death to like bring her to the very point of death is something orgasmic or is something
Yeah,
erotic.
and reviving them with CPR.
And yeah, so she thinks that point where she reaches of almost death, and then she's basically reached the end of it, and then she's being having to give in like CPR again to like bring out. She thinks that moment that she felt was pleasure. So she goes again looking for this pleasure later in life, and she then realizes that's probably what killed her and not excessive marijuana, because someone in hell tells her, hey, you actually can't die of consuming excessive marijuana. That's not how marijuana works. So, her getting understanding, like that revelation being made that, okay, this is probably what killed her, also shows how difficult it was for her in the boarding school.
But
Because
did she get the boy damned to hell because of her stupidity? Do you think so? He did flee the scene.
one thing was the stupidity, but the boy is grown up in a situation where he has no empathy left for anything, because he's already numb from the inside. Like he's
Yeah.
come from a war-torn country. There is he's lost his whole family. He's kind of like a refugee at that point. So he would basically sell. He would record her mom's
Oh,
intimate,
yeah.
dress changing scenes, or bathroom scenes, and like sell it on the internet.
Oh, yeah. He's
Sell
damned
off
to
her
hell either
underwear.
way.
Yeah, because he's just like he's seen the worst. So at this point, morality has no sense in his, worldview, because what is the point? We're all like damned. That like he's already in that thought process while he's still in heaven. I mean, while he's still in earth. So his thought process is already like pretty messed up. Actually, the one thing good that he did was to do that for her, because she desperately requests for it. She's like, do this to me, choke me now. And and her mother gives her a string of Hello Kitty condoms, because she's also forced to live like a little child in certain things, because her mother doesn't want to age. So her mother is not letting her grow beyond the age of 8. So she's still presented publicly as if she's 8 years old when she's actually 13. So her mom.
Oh, was that it? I thought
Yes.
she didn't know how old she was.
No,
Like, no.
like it's very like evident. She's forever going to be like a little child, because the older she gets, her mom's getting older. So her mom still claims to be younger than her actual age. So she's going to tell the daughter is also like younger than her actual age. So considering that she is a teenager and her parents are very like free in the conversations of sex, they gift her like a whole string, some 15-foot long string of Hello Kitty condoms, and she basically
Yeah.
dies because she tries to do something that her seniors, or seniors and her bullies in school made her do, which
Yeah.
they called the French kissing game, which sounded romantic to her. So she thought, let me do this with the guy that I like, and she ends up dying, being choked by a string of Hello Kitty condoms. So that's like a very weird image.
It's a weird image, but it's also funny. It's like, as she's getting choked to death by the Hello Kitty condoms, her mom is accepting the Oscar for Best
Oscar
Actress.
for Best
And she's
Actress.
like, hey, Maddie,
Yeah.
she's
My
8
little
years
baby,
old.
yeah.
It's her birthday today. So,
Yeah, oh, that too.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh, man.
So,
did
yeah, it's just absurdity on top of absurdity. I think he's aiming for absurdity.
Yeah.
But at the end of the book, what do you think was the purpose of the book? Or what
We
is the
can
takeaway?
find out in part 2, Doomed.
Yeah, because
'Cause-
we didn't get it from the first book. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. I
'Cause-
couldn't see the purpose.
I would
or-
say it's a coming of death film or no, book. It's like, coming of age. Yeah,
Coming
it's
of
coming of age, but in death.
in depth, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it is definitely a coming of age tale, but where is it all leading to? Yeah, probably we'll have to go in for the second part, but I don't think I am all that enthusiastic about the second part, because the book
Neither
is
am I.
actually like not too small. It is 256 pages, which is like a decent enough size.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a
And-
trilogy,
Yeah,
and the third part hasn't come out yet.
So
I think
second
the
part
author has
came-
given upon it.
Probably. The second part came in 2013, so it's been enough
Yeah.
time for the third part. But the first part itself has enough rather disgusting imagery that I couldn't sit through. So I don't think I want to put myself through one more of that.
Something that I really liked, and it was like during a telemarketing phase when she unknowingly calls her father,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. and she had to lie through her teeth.
She tells them she's in heaven.
Yeah.
And makes, so they're these liberal, oh my god, Buddhist and yoga doing those kind of like those people who think they're very enlightened and all the rest of the religions are not like all shit. So she tells them ki everything that you said was true. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll all be together as one happy family in heaven. Because she's so sure that if her parents keep doing what they're doing, they're anyways going to end up in hell. So they can all still be together as one big family. So that
Yeah,
is
but
an
would
interesting
they
point.
really want to go to hell to be with her, or would they rather prefer heaven without her? That's like,
I think they're anyways going to go into hell.
oh yeah,
That's the
that's
thing.
definitely
Unless
there.
she had warned them, telling ki like, oh my god, stop doing this and do so and so and so, and
Yeah,
you will go to this is hell. Like she could have warned them, telling ki please don't do these things because this will lead you into hell. But instead she's like, just be yourself and you're anyways going to end up in hell. So she, Athena's
that was a
just
pretty good
that. She
moment.
doesn't have a great relationship with her parents anyways. So there's that.
Yeah, but even though she sells her parents as do-gooders or like hipsters that don't really give a damn about their child, once the father gets to know, okay, that's her voice at the other side, and his and his mother's subsequent outburst, emotional outburst, that kind of changed a bit of perception for me of how they actually looked at this child.
So they try to give her everything that they never had. They say that also at a point with this, like they didn't grow up with so much freedom or so much money, so they let her have everything. They let her be a bit of a spoiled child.
Right.
They let her have all the freedom in the world possible because they never had it. So they're compensating for something that they never had. But in that process, they end up creating more mistakes in the parenting rule book. So
Does that ring true with Indian parents?
I think that rings true with parents everywhere. We try to correct, we go to the other extreme trying to like change the mistakes that our parents made, inadvertently creating other mistakes. But she, that phase in teenage where no matter how good your parents are, you're not going to like them? Because you see that generation gap for the first time in your life in your
Yeah.
teenage. You're no more in need of your parents, but you're slowly becoming an adult yourself. She's at that phase, exactly at 13, right as she hits teenagers when she dies. So she's not had the conversation with her parents, not confronted them, not told them what
Right.
she needs or all of that. So probably the second part would have more parts, interesting conversations maybe. But yeah, I don't think I have the stomach for it. I literally don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for it. But
Yeah.
is there any one particular moment that like stood out for you in the book? It's like, okay, this is really good. I relate to this. Like you don't have to relate to it, but you're like,
No, the
this
only
is like,
only thing that like
yeah,
sort of made sense to me at least a little bit was to use the fact that in the middle of all of this, there is this commentary made on religion and morality and all of that on the side of this, and the writing was definitely good. Like considering that I have no interest in the subject matter or the visual imagery created by the thing,
right,
the language and the literature quality is actually good. The author is obviously someone who's good with writing. It's not uh, actually doesn't it's not really boring either. Like things keep happening. There's like a you know series to the story, but then
yeah,
it's like not got a plot because the plot has just started. Maybe there's no plot that started as such. So yeah, I don't think there's much of a saving grace for me. That's why I don't think I'm going to go for the second part. I'm someone who needs closure, but even then I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is not my cup of tea.
yeah. I'm not gonna go for a second part either. Yeah.
On that note,
On that note,
uh, I don't know. Do we recommend this book? I really don't think we recommend the book. But if any of you actually do pick up the book and enjoy it, or like get a good perspective on it that we don't, it would be lovely if you could comment or
yeah,
let us know. It's 7 hours, 7-ish hours on Audible,
yeah,
and 250 pages in the physical copy. So yeah, do check it out if you are in the mood for some Banksian, satirical, dark comedy. If you would consider
yes,
that.
comedy.
Um,
That's what it
so
was.
yeah, yeah. So that's our take, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah. But I will recommend Brewster's Millions to you
if I read
guys.
that, I will let you know.
Yeah.